On the news at 1, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board raises alarm over fake UTME results, claiming high scores. Nigerian pilgrims in Mecca to start returning home on Tuesday. And correspondent examines the plight of drug addicts in the face of stigmatization. A very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the News at 1 on Nta Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. I am Abdullahi Ajia with the news. We begin with governance story. Nigerians should expect more positive impacts of democratic governance through better legislation by the 10th National Assembly. Senate President Godswill Akpabio gave the assurance in Kefi when he, together with members of the Senate, paid Salah homage to National Chairman, All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. Blessing Fulani has details.
After the proclamation by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu for the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly, Senator Godswill Akpabio emerged as Senate President. Legislative business has barely commenced. However, there is a ray of hope as Senate President Godswill Akpabio assures Nigerians of better legislation in the Red Chamber for the socio-economic prosperity of the country.
Nigerians should expect total support from the legislature. We believe strongly that we have a lot to offer from the National Assembly to make laws that will promote good governance, to bring about legislation that will attract foreign direct investment, to assist the current President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to create employment opportunities for Nigerians. And anything we can do from the parliamentary point of view in terms of making the right laws, we will do so.
Every aspect of this country is a continuing process. We'll continue to do the much circumstances and time will permit us to do. And I'm sure the National Assembly is on the same page with us on that. We'll continue to take every conceivable step to build bridges, to create understanding, and where there is difficulty understanding, we explain as much as we can humanly do, and then hope for the best.
It is hoped his tenure will have synergy with both the executive and the judiciary for the good of Nigeria and Nigerians. From Kefi, Blessing Fulani, NTA News.
Away from that, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has announced Tuesday, July 4, as the date for Nigerian pilgrims to start returning. Chairman of the Commission, Zikrullah Kunle Hassan, disclosed this in Makkah while reviewing Nigeria's outing at the just concluded pilgrimage. Various stakeholders expressed deep concerns over the challenges encountered and called for re-strategizing for the future. It was gathered that Nigeria lost 2 of the pilgrims in Muna and 4 on the Arafat day, as confirmed by the head of the Nigerian medical team, Dr. Usman Galadima. The Federal High Court Abuja Division has dismissed the suit filed by Premier Academy Abuja seeking an order of the court to stop the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission FCCPC from investigating the alleged rape and death of 8 14-year-old student. The presiding judge, Justice Evelyn Maha, who gave the order, held that the suit was frivolous and lacking in merit. Judiciary correspondent Miriam Emeka Amadi reports.
Karen Hapuch, a boarding student of Premier Academy, died on June 22, 2021 after she was infected by sepsis, allegedly caused by a condom left inside her by a killer rapist, which compromised her immunity, spiked her blood sugar, leading to her death by hyperglycemia. Following her death, the mother of the deceased, Vivian Vehemga Appa, lodged an official complaint at the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, accusing the school of service failure, which allegedly exposed her daughter to rape and eventual death. Acting on the said complaint, FCCPC issued a summons to the school to come and answer questions arising thereof. but the school accused it of attempting to usurp the statutory powers of the police and asked the court to stop it. The school even sought an interlocutory injunction restraining FCCPC from investigating the petition brought by the Karen's mother, and they claimed that the commission was seeking to usurp the function of the police. In a verdict, Justice Maha held that the first defendant, FCCPC, acted within the ambit of the law and has statutory right to demand for document from the plaintiff and cannot be declared unlawful based on the plaintiff's lack of reasonable cause of action. The court dismissed the suit, describing it as frivolous and lacking in merit.
This does not necessarily deal with the criminal angle of the case. You know, it essentially has to do with the civil and consumer rights issues.
I just pray that it continues in this vein. FCCPC does their bit and we get to the bottom of the matter.
The verdict of the court does not stop other agencies from carrying out their own investigations. Miriam Emekamadi, NTA News.
Raising awareness against gender discrimination and violence against women has been at the forefront of discussions by the FCT Traditional Rulers Wives Association. This time around, the initiator, wife of Sapi Hanaturunga, says the parents will play a critical role to enlightening and fostering a positive pathway to successful drive that will champion the campaign. Aisha Abdullahi was at the summit for students at the University of Abuja. Her report.
The need to keep educating and speaking to the conscience of youth about gender-based violence, among other issues, was discussed by stakeholders who champion issues of violence against women and girls. Wife of Sapi visited those affected, educating youth on issues of violence against women. She appealed to students of the university to ensure they report issues of violence whenever it occurs.
That anything you say, you should say it out. You should have boldness, courage as a woman to speak out when your husband is molesting you, either emotionally or psychologically.
Just speak out, whatever is disturbing you. Get to the right person and just discuss with the person. Don't think with shame, how am I going to face the shame? Then if people hear it, I'm passing through this. If you put that with you are risking your life.
Representatives of Association of Wives of Traditional Rulers in FCT advise that people must evolve with technology and disregard the idea of giving more education or care to the male gender.
Why we make it a point of note that we should be easily accessible so that we can curb the violence against people, the violence against women.
If you are blessed with male children, thank God, take care of him. If you are blessed with female children, thank God and take care of her.
Students were encouraged to engage in positive acts, take their studies serious, and stand up to their rights. Aisha Abdullahi, NTA News.
We sincerely apologize for poor quality in that report. Moving forward, as global attention is being shifted to issues of gender equality and inclusive governance, a women group, Women of Worth, has appealed to government at state and federal levels to involve more women in development. The appeal was made by key stakeholders at an award organized by Women of Worth. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni has more.
At the Women of Worth Awards celebration, they said at the moment, major economic and political power is largely in favor of the male gender, leaving the female at the receiving end. According to them, proven records show that gender equality supports economic growth and national harmony.
I will dedicate this award to the Nigerian women, and especially the downtrodden women, the voiceless. Whatever you give a woman, she will definitely give you back 100-fold more of what you've given her to hold. So we always leave things better than we met them.
We have great women doing exploits in Nigeria in all the sectors, in the private sector, in the administrative sector, political sector, the technocrats, the women are there. The tested politicians, we have women of high quality and repute that can fit into any role given to them.
Women of Worth say to this end, they have restated a new resolve to the advocacy for not just gender equality, but right of a girl child in education, good health care, and the socio-economic improvements of women.
Women right now have to just be in strategic watch to see what the new government has in store for us. I just want to say the men should show the women mercy and trust them. They should trust women. Women will never fail.
We have a lot of women who are doing extremely well in the political scene, and we would like them to have a space.
Awards were presented to women who have left indelible marks in their different endeavors. Former Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Talen, and Dr. Betty Olutunde were recognized, while Barrister Hajara Kadri got Groundbreaker Social Housing Award, among others. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
Talking a bit on spirituality, be strong in the Lord and his power. Those were the words of Pastor Ayenike Rotimi while addressing widows and orphans at an outreach organized by the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Abuja. Sefia Noma Uche reports that the widows went away with packages.
Redeemed Christian Church of God, Province 9, Ayanike Rotimi, has admonished widows and orphans, saying darkness cannot continue forever. She says they should learn to live a life of hope, knowing fully well that the Almighty God has not forsaken them. She assured them of God's presence always and prayed for the spirit of unforgiveness. The atmosphere became tensed and emotional when she began prayers for the widows and their children. By ballot, various gifts were shared.
God is God, oh!
God Almighty will replace it for them. Anywhere they remove their money, anything to make sure that we laugh today.
I believe there are some people that are in need of help, like all these widows. This is the 3rd edition. This was posted here 3 years ago, and God has been helping us, and it has been getting better every year. You don't need to be a philanthropist to be able to reach out to the needy.
The event also featured a mini drama depicting God's presence always. The Daughters of Zion Ministry says the event holds annually but sometimes quarterly to encourage widows and give them hope through kindness. Sofia Noma Uche, NTA News.
You're watching the 1 p.m. news on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Still to come on the news. Addressing health care coverage in the FCT in focus with the introduction of FCT Health Insurance Scheme. This and more in just a moment.
Of traffic in the nation's capital.
Whichever way it turns out, either to consolidate on the existing mandate or institute a new dispensation.
Located within the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMA.
How much do people know about ADR? Are charting a part to having more youth participate in governance, in addition to building young entrepreneurs.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are calling on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, look into the situation.
You have to strike a balance to have a future that you don't have to regret.
Like experts say, what kills really is fear.
In Abuja, Onozeaku,
NTA News. The immediate cause of the
latest killings in Abuja remains unknown.
Conceived with the intent to ease the flow of traffic in the nation's capital.
Whichever way it turns out, either to consolidate on the existing mandate or institute a new dispensation.
Located within the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC.
How much do people know about ADR? Are charting a path to having more youth participate in governance, in addition to building young entrepreneurs.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are calling on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, look into the situation.
You have to strike a balance to have a future that you don't have to regret.
Like experts say, what kills really is fear.
In Abuja,
NTA News.
Thank you for staying tuned. Now a bit on education. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB says many of the results being paraded as best results of the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME are fake. The board stated this while expressing worry over the ugly trend being publicized and celebrated by some media houses and used in deceiving good-spirited Nigerians. A statement signed by JAMB's head Public Affairs and Protocol, Fabian Benjamin in Abuja, advised anyone with intentions of honoring or awarding scholarships to students who claim to have scored high marks to confirm such claims from the board, noting that some of the self-acclaimed high UTME scorers had manipulated their results. The board cited the case of Ms. Ejikeme Joy Mesoma, who claimed to have scored 362 in the 2023 UTME and was awarded a 3 million naira scholarship by Chief Dr. Innocent Chukuma, while her original score is 249. Research indicates that millions of Nigerians still lack access to quality and affordable health care, despite the introduction of the National Health Insurance Scheme, which is targeted at achieving universal health coverage for all. Hakimat Aliyu in this report takes a look at the FCT situation on health insurance scheme, looking at the derivable benefits.
Meet Simon Ode, an on-air personality with an Abuja radio station. Mr. Simon, a father of 4, has his family enrolled under the FCT health insurance scheme. He expresses relief that when it comes to accessing health care, he has no worries.
It's just like what I started with that waste of 18, which I should have spent roughly 150,000, but I did not pay that money. It should have come from my salary, or maybe I should have gone and look for money to pay. So now, because I'm there, I did not pay those money. You see, so it should have been a very big challenge. And for a woman to go under CS, you know, it's not an easy thing. Some places, if not because I'm an enrollee, I think I should have paid off to 80,000. My second daughter have an issue with her toothache. It was being taken care of.
This puts Mr. Simon off the list of many who have to do out-of-pocket spending for health services, which most times leaves the average and vulnerable Nigerians in penury, a situation the health insurance seeks to address.
It covers most of the reasons why anybody will go to the hospital. More than 80% of conditions that take you to the hospital. Things like basic surgery, cesarean section, appendicitis, fibroid, they are all covered. And you can even have opportunity for secondary care services. The scheme is open for everybody. And not only open for everybody, it also seeks to address the challenges of the poor and vulnerable, those that cannot pay for this service.
However, despite the enormous benefits of the health insurance scheme, it is yet to get a legal backing for its operations in the FCT as a state.
When you look at the number of lives that are registered with the FCT-HIS, it's considered one of the best in the country. But overall, Amongst the 6 cardinal pillars of the health system, I believe health financing now should be critical, because where you don't have financing, despite capable leadership and governance structure, you will not be able to achieve much.
It's worthy to note that the National Health Insurance Scheme (NHIS) bill provides a policy framework for the establishment of the FCT Health Insurance Bill. Although it has been passed by the National Assembly, it is still awaiting assent, a development many believe will bring about an effective mandatory health insurance program. Health experts have since identified this as necessary to protect Nigerians from out-of-pocket payment for health care, a situation partly blamed for the country's grim health indices. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Second of July every year is World Sports Journalists Day. The day acknowledges the hard work of sports journalists and encourages them to be better at their job. As the Nigerian sports media join the rest of the world to mark the day, sports correspondent Francis Kabile looks at how the day is helping to advocate more recognition for the profession.
People can be divided over many things in the world, but one thing that unites them like none other is sports. Everyone has at least one favorite sport that they love and always like to remain updated about every single detail related to that sport. Hence, the importance of the sports journalist who presents the information in an interesting way, whether it's television, radio, newspaper, or online.
The role of journalists cannot be overemphasized, especially when it comes to a dissemination of information, raising awareness of game, raising the consciousness of people.
They have helped to discover budding talents from the grassroots. They've helped to project their skills to the world.
Not just about dissemination of various sports, but sports business as well. So there's a huge role that they play.
Over the years, the World Sports Journalists Day has been providing the platform to acknowledge the hard work of sports journalists and encourages them to be better at their job. It also brings up challenges being faced by sports journalists and how it could be surmounted.
Some media houses cannot pay for journalists to go cover various sporting events. Sometimes you're doing your job, the intimidation.
From our poor take-home salary down to the logistics, the equipment needed to be able to work with to deliver at the topmost level.
There are so many quacks within the profession, and a lot needs to be done to ensure that real professionals are the ones that are involved.
The 2023 celebration of the World Sports Journalists Day is the 30th annual celebration, and members of the sports media, while acknowledging the gains recorded so far, are unanimous in calling for more recognition and awareness for the great work they do. In Abuja, Francis Kabile, NTA News.
Well, not done with Francis Kabile, as we also join her to tell us about the 2023 Royal Queens Basketball Tournament, which just ended in Abuja, with Queens Basketball Club as winners of the championship.
The grand finale of the Royal Queens Basketball Championship was a tight contest between Hot Cool Sizzlers and Queens Basketball Club. The Sizzlers started brightly to win the first quarter 16-10, only for the Queens to fight back as the second quarter ended 22 apiece. The Queens shot into the lead in the third quarter, which they won 29-27, and they never looked back in the fourth as they recorded a 43-39 win to emerge the champions.
I'm really excited my team won the competition.
The philosophy in the club is you either win or you learn. So we're going to learn from this and we'll come back stronger the next game. But I'm really proud of the girls. They did great.
We need more of this tournament. Beautiful, nicely put together.
The convener, Palace Kuniyi Akpana, who was obviously impressed with the abundance of talent on display, called for both international and local partnerships to help grassroots female players in Nigeria.
We have something here that we can build on. I want to make sure that people don't have to travel out to be successful in basketball. So I think they can do it right here. The more we can collaborate as international players to build something here, I think we will be very successful in the future.
God has helped her to get to this, attain this level, and I'm happy because it was not in vain.
Following their victory, champions Queens Basketball Club got a cash prize of 200,000 naira. Hot Cool Sizzlers Basketball Club got 150,000 naira for finishing second, while Air Warriors, who finished third, were rewarded with the sum of 125,000 naira. In Abuja, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
Now let's join our sports desk for Sports Brief.
Nigeria's hurdles star Toby Emerson has won Stockholm Diamond League Women's 100-meter hurdles. Emerson came first with a time of 12.52 seconds and won gold. Sarah Lavin of Ireland, 12.73 seconds, while Pia Seksisowska of Poland finished with a time of 12.78 seconds. In football, the Super Falcons of Nigeria are off to Australia for a training tour ahead of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. The Super Falcons will spend 15 days in Australia, where they are expected to engage in friendly games before the competition. Still on football, former Super Eagles captain Kanu Nwankwo is reportedly lined up to take over a new chairman of Nigeria Premier League champions Enyimba. Talking basketball, Nigeria will not be participating in the FIBA African Basketball Championship when it commences later this year, as they lost the ticket in the final match day to Cote d'Ivoire. With Sports Brief, Francisca Bile, NTA News.
And just before we go, a recap of some top stories. Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAM) has issued a statement saying some of the results being paraded as best score of the 2023 UTME are fake. Federal High Court Abuja dismisses suits by Premier Academy Lugbe seeking to stop FCCPC from investigating alleged rape and death of its 14-year-old students. Thank you for watching the news on Nta Channel 5 Abuja at 1. There will be more stories at 7. Join us then. I remain Abdullahi Hajia.